Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a book which I had a kind of a complicated experience with. So today I will be discussing a book called The Lich Before The Darkness by Timothy Stormcrow. So a while ago I was sent an email from Tim asking me to read this book, and I did the usual things. I searched it up on Amazon. I read the synopsis, had a good hard think about it, as I do with all books that I'm asked to read, and there was nothing really at the time that kind of hooked me or drew me to read this book. So I said to him, look, I'm just not feeling this book, and I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm just gonna have to say no. And there was no hard feelings as far as I can remember. He just said thank you, and we said bye, and we parted ways, and that was it. But then one of my YouTube friends, whose channel was called Faceless Book Reviews, did a video talking about this book. And his video, which I will have a link down below to it, really convinced me and changed my mind to pick up Timothy's book and to give it a read. So I went and bought a physical copy. You can, as far as I can remember it, anyway, you can get this on a ebook version, but I decided to get a physical copy. So first off, I just want to say to Timothy that the only person that you should be thanking is Faceless Book Reviews, as if it wasn't for his video, I wouldn't be giving this book a read. So he deserves to have all the praise and recognition for that. And also, this is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. So, what is the genre of Lich Before the Darkness? This, as far as I can kind of categorize it, this is a urban fantasy book with elements of dark fantasy thrown in for good measure, and I suppose a sprinkling of horror. So this whole world of this book is very much like our own, but it is inhabited with monsters. Now these monsters vary from the typical ones like werewolves, vampires, but we also have mythical creatures. There are centaurs in this book. They are bogeymen in this. There are all types of monsters in this book. There are so many, in fact, that I cannot list them, and I can't remember all of them. But this whole world is inhabited by all different creatures and monsters. And as far as I'm aware, the humans in this world know about them, but there isn't really a kind of social divide about mistrust or them being treated badly because they are monsters, or mistrusted, or whatever. So there was no kind of conflict between the humans and the monsters. So this is sort of a short story anthology that focuses around three main characters, two that are female and one that is male. One of these characters is a lady who goes for a job. She's quit her old job, which she doesn't really like that much. She's been there for years, but she has a new job where it turns out that she is kind of a monster hunter slash detective of supernatural events. The other character is another female, which is resurrected from the dead after she was sacrificed to a demon, and she's kind of a somewhat assassin. I mean, afterwards, it sounds a lot interesting than it is, but I found her story to be not that interesting, to be honest. I found the kind of woman who got a job hunting monsters and being a monster detective to be far more interesting. And then there is our third character, who is called Eric. I will put all these names of these characters down on the screen because I don't want to try to pronounce them because I will probably pronounce them wrong. Eric doesn't show up until about a third, maybe halfway through the book, and he, I'm not really sure what he is. He has dreams about um, um, these monsters, and when it because it was I think because it took so long to get to his character, when it finally got to his section, I just didn't really care as much as I did the other two. I think that Timothy needs to kind of find a balance between um, having his main characters throughout the book kind of spread out equally rather than giving more attention to others. And this book is kind of split up into um, I mean obviously chapters, but each chapter is represented by a um, specific character. So each chapter is from a different character's point of view, and they kind of interweave with each other. Um, I suppose um, they all have some connection because this stone circle on the front of the book appears in it. But they don't really. I mean, as far as I can remember, they didn't really have any connection apart from that. And interwoven between these three characters are kind of side short stories within this world that talk about monsters and um, different creatures that are outside our main characters' points of view. They're kind of like world building stories, and yeah, that's this story of the book. Really, it didn't really have a linear story, like one goal that I mean I could figure out. Um, it was just it seemed like a short story or a anthology story. Um, it was. I mean, as I said, I liked specific characters better than others. I did try to read this one once before, but I had to DNF it. This is the book that I had to kind of put everything that I was reading on hold and just solely read this. That isn't really technically a bad thing. There are some books out there that they are so complicated and you have to really get immersed in the world and with the characters that you cannot read anything else. Well, in my opinion, and anyway, books like Lord of the Rings and Dune, books that you have to kind of be fully immersed in that world and with these characters, and you can't have any distractions with any other books. And yeah, um, it was okay. It did drag a lot in places for me. Um, I know that Tim is writing other books within this series. I don't think I'm going to continue with any of the other books. Whether I mean, if it's a standalone, if it's separate from this, then sure I will give it a try. But when it comes to a continuation of this story, I'm just going to leave it here. But as I said, if Tim writes anything else that is separate from this, then sure I will give it a go. It's not necessarily written bad. The writing um, is tolerable. It is easy to read. It's not overly complicated. It's just that the characters and I didn't really. It's just that the characters I didn't really care for, and the world seemed a bit complicated. What kept on coming back to me is how Terry Pratchett started off with Discworld. It's kind of very much like our own world, but it's inhabited by all these different creatures and different quirky characters. I believe that I mean, Tim could do the same thing, but he has to kind of focus on one specific part of it. Like, it would have been better if he focused on one character rather than three characters, and he could have incorporated stories from all these different creatures in this world that is outside our main character. That would have been better, rather than trying to throw everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I think that what Tim has to do, in my personal opinion, is just to kind of plan his world, know what his mythical world is going to be called, whether he's going to have one, and kind of inhabit it with all these different creatures and maybe different quirky characters and different societies and different businesses, like Terry did with Discworld, and kind of build up on that. Hopefully that made sense. The reason why I'm bringing up Discworld a lot is that I think that Tim has the ability to do what Terry did with Discworld, with his imagination. Maybe not with this book, but I believe that he has that in him to maybe kind of create a different world with maybe this as the inspiration. You know, I don't know. So what am I going to rate Lich Before the Darkness? Unfortunately, I've got to be honest. I've got to give it a middle of the road score, a 2.5 stars out of 5. Would I recommend this? It's hard to say. If you're into dark fantasy, if you're into urban fantasy, then I would give this a try. If you're into, if you're really into reading books that have got monsters in them, then give it a try. As I said, this isn't a horror book, but it has horror elements throughout it. And who knows, maybe you'll like it more than me. I mean, if you've read this, let me know down below in the comments, what did you think about it? But in my personal humble opinion, it wasn't great and it wasn't terrible. It was just average, and I suppose that's could be a negative thing to take away. But I believe that this is Tim's first book, and first off, congratulations for that, Tim. I don't want to take that away from you. You should be extremely proud about what you've written. I do not want to take that away from you, and no one should. I think about this video as not really as me being giving you all these critiques, but I think about it as a way of okay, this is my opinions about it, about where you should go forward. And plus, how many times have I compared your imagination to Terry Pratchett's? Please take that with a grain of salt. If you want me to go in depth about it more, then we can discuss it more with emails. But I just want to thank once again my friend Faceless Book Reviews for making that video, as if it wasn't for him, I would have never picked this book up and given it a chance, because as I said, I said no to reading this book once. Do I regret reading it? No, as it's reading, and reading is never a waste of time. But I will be passing this book on, and hopefully the next person will enjoy it much more than I did. So that has been my video, guys. Hopefully it hasn't gone on for too long. Knowing me, it probably has. But thank you for watching. Thank you, Tim, for communicating with me with this book. Hopefully I've done your book justice. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, guys. Apologies that it's taken me this long to release another video. I've just come back from a little holiday or vacation or a trip, so I'm kind of trying to get back into the swing of making videos again, but have no fear, I will continuously be making more frequent videos. So Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I better cut it off here, otherwise I'll keep on rambling on, and I don't want to edit that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.